This easy work box. I'm finna hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. This is a video on Jamel Miller confronting Eddie Hearn. Now, we all know that Eddie Hearn has basically lied to Bigbaby Miller and told him that he would get the fight against Anthony Joshua, even using him as a bulletproof vest to confront Deontay Wilder and bring up things about him having sex with Deontay Wilder's baby mother to even get the fight. And now you see that Bigbaby is going out his way in multiple videos to confront Eddie Hearn about the fight. And as you see from Eddie Hearn, the way that he talks when he approaches the camera and talks to Bigbaby Miller, that he has no intention of making that fight for Bigbaby Miller versus Anthony Joshua. For one, they see Bigbaby Miller as a threat too. And if you don't see that, then you're blind. Eddie Hearn comes to the camera and he says that Anthony Joshua will basically run through Bigbaby Miller unless he has a good chin. Okay, we've seen that Bigbaby Miller does have a good chin. So that's out the window. So why won't you give this man a fight when you promised him that you would give him the fight? First, and I also say this. I've seen Eddie Hearn lie on multiple videos about the Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua offer for the $50 million. Now, from the way I see that fight happening with him and Anthony Joshua, Bigbaby Miller and Anthony Joshua, I really don't see Bigbaby Miller winning that fight, but I feel, you know, a man's word is a man's word. And if you promised him that fight, then you should give him that fight. I really see Bigbaby Miller not really losing the fight in a bad way. I just seen him losing the fight on points. Because I really, well, not necessarily on with points, because Bigbaby Miller comes forward and he comes hard. And like I just said, he has a chin. But I think that Eddie Hearn sees Bigbaby Miller as too much of a threat. Just like I think the Wilder team sees Bigbaby Miller as too much of a threat. Because of the things that Bigbaby Miller came out and exposed about Deontay Wilder's baby mother, I don't see why Deontay Wilder isn't going at Bigbaby Miller for his next fight. The word on the street is that Deontay Wilder will be fighting Dominic Breazeale in August if he doesn't get the fight with Anthony Joshua. But to the UK fans out there, I didn't really realize that Eddie Hearn was as tall as he is. Eddie Hearn has to be about 6'6", 6'7", because Bigbaby Miller is 6'4", and Bigbaby Miller has to look up to him. You know, that's just something I wanted to say. I didn't think that Eddie Hearn was that tall. But I think this fight will be a good fight. You know, other than what I said earlier in my last videos, I think this will be a close fight. And that's only because the style that Bigbaby Miller has, and the fact that I've never seen anybody fight Anthony Joshua the way that Bigbaby Miller will. You know, Anthony Joshua hasn't fought a fighter that will come forward like Bigbaby Miller would, and non-stop for 12 rounds. For him to be a big guy, I will say he has a lot of stamina to come in and go at somebody like that for 12 rounds, the way he did Johan DeHakis. But this is clearly Eddie Hearn's on his bullshit. He stays on his bullshit. I don't see how anybody can believe anything he says. Like I said, I clearly seen him in 2 different videos saying 2 different things about the Deontay Wilder offer of the $50 million, in which, you know, we will not see that fight. I don't think no time this year. I think it's like Anthony Joshua said in 2019. You know, I mean, Anthony Joshua could get on Twitter and put fire flames up on his name all he want to and tell Deontay to bring it on. But at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn makes the fight. But I clearly knew this was going to happen. I said this before, if you watch my videos, that he was using them just to get Deontay Wilder's name out the way, for the Anthony Joshua fight, and it has worked. But now I see that Bigbaby Miller is really upset and realized that he was being used, and now he keeps coming at Eddie Hearn. But Eddie Hearn is not going to make that fight for him in no way possible. Only way I see him ever making that fight is if Deontay Wilder fights Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua loses, then Bigbaby Miller may be a comeback fight. But you will never see Anthony Joshua versus Bigbaby Miller right now. That won't happen. Which I don't know who Anthony Joshua's next opponent will be if it's not Wilder, but I'm sure they're going to find somebody else instead of Bigbaby Miller. But I just had to get on here and, let the fans know that if y'all thinking that fight will be next, it's not going to be next. It's obvious, once again, that Eddie Hearn sees Deontay Wilder and Bigbaby Miller as a threat to Anthony Joshua. He don't want to see them belts gone and fuck up his money, because Anthony Joshua does sell out crowds, and I think Anthony Joshua is the highest heavyweight fighter that's out there right now. And I wonder what he would do when Tyson Fury comes at Anthony Joshua. See, what a lot of people now understand is that if Anthony Joshua is this so-called beast or animal in the ring, then why is he not fighting them three guys? Why is a contract not being signed or being talked about against Bigbaby Miller, Tyson Fury, or Deontay Wilder? He'll go fight somebody else easily. Joseph Parker, which I can understand. Joseph Parker had a belt. But what about everybody else? I mean, he said he wants to be the best. You have to fight the best. Maybe the problem is that Deontay Wilder, Bigbaby Miller, and Tyson Fury are not 42 years old. Because like I said before, even though he did beat Klitschko, he beat a 42-year-old Klitschko. A 32-year-old Klitschko or a 29, 30-year-old Klitschko would have wiped Anthony Joshua out. And that was clear to see from the whole entire fight. But, I'm not a fan of Bigbaby Miller, so I just get on here and, I had to tell the truth. And it's obvious even in them talking on camera that Eddie Hearn will not give this man this fight. And Bigbaby Miller is now getting really upset about it. But I also wonder who is this Jewish guy with the little hat thing that's promoting Bigbaby Miller. I don't know. I'm just wondering about that. I didn't think that he was being promoted by some Jewish guy, which Jewish guys run everything. So this fight should be made if Eddie Hearn wants this fight made, because Jewish guys got that bread. You know what I'm saying? So it really ain't no excuse about no money now when it comes to Bigbaby Miller. And plus, I'm sure Bigbaby Miller will go overseas to the UK and fight Anthony Joshua. But we'll just have to see what's going on with this fight. I would love to see the fight, just to see Bigbaby Miller get his shot. I feel that he does deserve a shot. This man's undefeated. He's ran through opponents, both Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua has fought. So it's time for them to, get this man a shot, whether it's Deontay or it's Anthony Joshua. And I don't feel that Deontay Wilder should be fighting Dominique Brazil. I feel like he should be fighting Bigbaby Miller. But I don't know what the rankings is in the heavyweight division of the WBC. Like we all know, what's his name? Dylan White versus Luis Ortiz will be the mandatory. Whoever wins that fight will be the mandatory for Deontay Wilder's belt. But I don't know who will be the mandatory for any of Anthony Joshua's belts. But we as fans, we're sitting here, we're waiting, and we want to see the undisputed heavyweights. Undisputed fight within the heavyweight division. And right now, I feel like Anthony Joshua is doing the Keith Thurman. He maybe, you never know. Right now, Eddie Hearn may tell him to get an injury or, do the Sean Porter like Sean Porter had the fake injury waiting on Keith Thurman. But we need to see this fight, and we need to see these guys fight. And I hope that Dylan White beats Luis Ortiz, because I don't want to see a rematch between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. I would rather see Dylan White versus Deontay Wilder. But to the UK fans, stop believing in your boy Eddie Hearns. Eddie Hearns is full of shit. And like I said, if you go back and watch the videos when there was Bob Arum and the guy who promotes Joseph Parker, they're literally they're telling you that promoters lie just to promote fights. And you guys, when Eddie Hearn say some shit, you feel like God said it himself. And Eddie Hearn is nothing more than a man and a promoter. But I guess Bigbaby Miller is understanding that now, that just because somebody said something don't mean they're going to keep their word. But you know, it's easy work boxing. Thank you for your time. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.